Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This is going to be my showcase of King Kong Bundy, the walking condominium. He is the A tier this month. A tiers have traditionally been very, very good, from JD McDonough to Dirty Dom. We tend to get a lot of good ones. So let's dive in here and see if Mr. Bundy here can live up to it. He is a Legend era chaotic striker. He has the $1 million corporation link, receive 50% less damage from green gem, 60% from green gem, so random. Legend era gems do 10% more damage. Really, this $1 million corporation link should be updated, just saying. He's a trainer. He's one of those niche trainers. When you need them, they're like the best option available, but you typically don't need them super often. At 6-star, 2 green MP, and 50% black gem damage. So there's that. What else? He does not have any kind of hot tag mechanic. So there's one move I'm not going to use. It is not useless though. It's a 1 MP yellow, deal 1.5 million damage and steal up to 15 MP from each of your opponent's blue moves. I'm not sure why that number is so high, because we don't really have anyone that has that kind of charge that ever gets played anymore. So that's interesting. I wonder if that's any kind of indicator or just random. But there are movesets you can use it, obviously with the blues. I will mention that when we get to them, but I'm not going to use it for the purpose of this showcase. So let's dive right in. This is kind of interesting how this works. Initially, anyway, we'll play it. Back elbow smash, 7 MP Juggernaut. Deal 557k damage, make 10 random gems into 2-turn Juggernaut gems that will deal 1 million bleed damage to your opponent for 1 turn on every countdown. And then deal another 1 million at the end of the countdown. So you're getting basically 2 ticks of bleed, but how you get to it is a little bit different. At 1 million apiece and then 10 gems. So that's like a 10 million base bleed a turn for 2 turns. So 20 million base bleed for 2 turns. You'll see what I mean when we play it. Knee drop, 7 MP, deal 450k damage and choose 9 gems to make into yellow. And then we have a 5 MP submission. It's a color one. You choose to make black sub gems and do 550k damage for 3 turns. Remaining submissions turn into trap gems that, you guessed it, cause 1 million bleed damage when broken by you or your opponent, but only for 1 turn. So this moveset's all about the bleed. So we are going to use the new trainer for Raquel Judgment Day, 2 black MP, and then it works on traps, countdowns, juggernauts, 75% more bleed. Awesome, awesome training ability for Raquel. Big, big fan. And then we're using woods, so we're loaded in all modes. And then we're using woods again to add 50% more bleed damage. You can see that's 2.25 million bleed a turn each time the jugs fire for 2 turns and 10 gems. So that's 22.5 million. Both sets of ticking of the juggernauts gives you 50 million bleed damage, so that's not too shabby. And then we have NWO Hogan for Matchy Match. So a simple 3 yellow match loads the sub, because you guys know I don't like doing 2-3 matches. You absolutely could take him out, put like a Goldberg for the extra Juggernaut gem in there instead of Hogan, but I prefer to have almost no cascade risk. Well, I prefer to have no cascade risk, and a 3 matches as low as you can get. So that's how we're going. Now, what's really weird is the Juggernauts don't tick until it rolls back around to your turn, or unless you do a 5 match. We could do a 5 match to start, but I don't really like that strategy, and I'll kind of show you why. So you're basically locking into doing at least 1 sub rotation for this, because we want to get some ticks of those Juggernaut gems, right? So what we're going to do here is we're just going to do a yellow 3 match, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? And now we're going to go ahead and 2-3 matches of black gems, and then put some trap gems out. We kind of want to leave some black gems on the board. Maybe he'll make a match and bleed himself after the sub. All right, so he refilled himself, so not ideal. You can see, though, we've gotten 1 tick of the Juggernauts, and so that's basically like 22 million bleed. Well, now we have 10 more gems out there. So let's go ahead and make a 5 match this time. Plus, doing it this way, we also have more pin bar to work with, right? Less chance we're going to cascade too far. This is kind of an ugly board. 3, 4, a really ugly board. I'm not particularly enjoying this one. These are set up poorly for what I want to try and do. We're going to end up just doing this for our 5 match. That worked out okay. Then we're going to go ahead and swipe, and then we're going to get a tick from the bleeds, the 10 bleeds we have, and then get 20 more stacks. All right. So you can see we did that. All right, nothing super crazy, but watch what happens now when we swipe. It completely drained him. So in a perfect world, we would have moved the pin bar slightly farther and pinned him and won. We took a hit. So I could have played that better, for sure. And getting pinned is good because then all your bleeds go out. But basically, what I'm trying to say is it's a funky way to play, right? Funky way to play, but once you get those out, you're basically full draining everyone. So it's a little bit weird, but it is super effective, but you have to kind of set it up. I'll try playing it once more. It took a little finagling to figure out maybe sort of what some of the better ways of doing this. At least I think this is a better way of doing it, because you have to get those juggies to tick. And it's just not really safe doing a 5 match on turn 1 necessarily. You won't zero them though, because you won't get back around to the bleed. They have too much health, right? So I'll just kind of run it again. Let's just go ahead. Sure. Too many gems. So that, we get a lot of pin bar movement. And then he's not loaded, right? So last time you saw what happened, we didn't move the pin bar maybe as much as I wanted to. So in a case like this, you could also do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we also have enough juice to set up another one there, right? So let's see if this actually wants to cooperate. We did tick it, so maybe I don't want to do that now. Let's do it this way. And then let's come and do it this way. Cascade all the way. And boom. So you can set it up so you can win right away, because he's got a lot of choosing. It's really interesting. There's a lot of damage there. I think we're doing right around like 70 million-ish, 72 million-ish bleed on that at the end of that. So that's kind of interesting. Anyway, enough of that. It's not my normal playstyle, but it is interesting. Let's move into something that's more my jam, as it were. He's got a lot going on, a lot of hardcore, similar to Boss Man. I'm assuming one of these movesets that we're about to play is probably, and I think it's this one, is probably going to be the boss build. I just get that feeling this month. Front power slam, 7 MP combo meal. Yeah, I want it supersized since it's King Kong Bundy. Combo move. 400k damage and choose a 3x6 area to make into multiply gems of strength 3. The multiply gem strength is kind of low. It's also a reversal. So if the opponent generates leech gems, which is kind of weird, we don't have a ton of leechers, but we do have some. You steal the opponent's turn after dealing 4 million damage. So leech counter. Elbow drop. 7 MP blue, deal 458k damage, increase your black MP by 10. It's also hardcore. So if your opponent's style is focused, deal another 1,000,000 damage and then increase the strength of your multiply gems by 4. So I think the boss is obviously going to be focused, right? And then you're going to drop these and make the multiplies bigger. That's why we got the multiply to use first. You want to use the multiply before this. And then finisher is deal 800k damage, make 20 multiply gems into blue gems, and pin the opponent. Hardcore, if opponent's class is trickster, first deal 270k damage and increase the strength of your multiply gems by another 4. So against a focused trickster, these strength 3s all of a sudden turn into 7s and then 11s times multiplies, right? So yeah, it's gonna hit really hard against a focused trickster. Now Sammy is focused, so I'd like to avoid him simply first and show you what this hits for on BPP where we're not taking advantage of the hardcore. And we're going to go a little more trainer friendly to start. Lex is free, 2 blue MP, 2 multiply, Lawler's free, and Chelsea was free, and Gunther was free. So Chelsea's on there for the 60% multiply. Obviously, Leo would be better. And Gunther 60% and 40% blues. So that's how we're going to run this to start off, and let's see what the bottom end is for this build set. For plates, obviously the Pyro Princess adds 50% when you make multiply gems, which we would be doing right here, right? And then the new plate adds 100%. The new ultimate plate would add 100%. So these are only times 5s, and there's only 18 of them. This isn't going to hit super duper hard. He is a striker, though. You can see 25 million damage. That's just not... That's not where it needs to be, right? If he subs me, I'll just force close. Because you know that's what it's going to hit for, right? You figured that out. If he pins me, we'll be able to hit it again. Yeah, calm down, Scotty. All right, there we go. So, kind of maybe not as exciting feeling starting out, but we're still at the bottom here. Let's move our way up and see how we do, right? 26 million with a little cascade. He's a striker, so big gem damage, honestly. So let's go against a focused now. Not a focused trickster. I'll just go against a focused and kind of show you guys that. Because this would be the same damage against a trickster or against somebody focused. They both up it your multiply gems by ×4. So it's like a free sherry. So either or, not both would be even better, obviously, but either or. ×9 is certainly going to help. That almost doubles our damage output. You can see 44.5 million, so a lot more respectable starting out against a focused or a trickster. And I do have 100% strap with Fury 2s. I'm avoiding using any particular primary move damage metal, as those are going to be 0 on him when you're using Fury 3s versus Fury 3s. You're going to have 0 move damage, so I just went ahead and am not doing that because I don't want to skew it. If you don't understand, I've done videos on this. So, all right. So what about with a whaley setup? We're just gonna throw Leo on, and then Zombie LA gives us wrong setup actually. Wrong setup. Hold on. We don't want Zombie LA yet. We want this guy, Zombie Gunther. So we're just gonna throw Leo on and get 3 bigger. And I'll show you what he does with 3 bigger against a focused or a trickster, and then we'll go back to BPP. Now we're really starting to cook at times 12. Against a focus trickster, you'd have times 16, which is what I think the boss is going to be. This is just a guess, by the way. 53 million without plates. Okay. And then you get more on top of it if the boss is a focus trickster or the player is a focus trickster. So a little more respectable, but still not really where I'd like to be. And then regular, without any of the hardcore moves. This should probably be right around like 38-ish million to 40, somewhere in there, I think. More closer to 38, I think. Oh, we cascaded, so. It was only 36, actually, so less than I thought even. It was a little high. All right. So, yeah, without plates, honestly, I think it's a little too hit or miss getting the right people. I think without a plate, I honestly don't think I would ever run that unless it was specifically for boss. So let's move on to just double blue. You're like, what? Yeah, double blue. So this is another option. Boss could potentially be something like this. We're going to bring the other blue move in that you haven't seen. It's the only move you haven't seen. We're going to keep the elbow drop in there because you can use this in the case. So like this would be backup. You're just bringing this, and then when it is a focused person, you would use this before the running splash. So the new move is a 7 blue MP running splash. Deal 300k damage and make the bottom 3 rows into pyro gems, which will make all gems above it into black gems when broken by you. Then deal 300k damage and make 21 pyro gems into blue gems. So this you're getting black gems, which is his primary color, right? And we're just going to go back to the same moveset, the same loadout we had, the more free-to-play friendly one, since all of these have been available free at one time or another if you've been playing. And let me show you this. This is also just 2 moves, so it's significantly faster. But does it hit significantly harder? I really wish this 3x6 was 6x3. If this was 6x3, that would be chef's kiss. Then we'd really be talking here. Queen's Tiara, or no, yeah, Queen's Tiara is what you'd use with this. Black's his primary color. You can see 2 clicks, 30 million with the free-to-play. Much more my style, but still the damage isn't quite there, but it is harder than the other one, right? And just to show you what I mean, what you can do when it's focused, let's just go back to Sammy. You're going to put your multiplies out. Now we're going to make them bigger. Then we're going to go ahead and do this. $45 million when you can find the focus person. So again, it's definitely harder than the other one. What about though, let's amp the trainers up now. Then we'll toss some plates on and mess around with some plates. See if we can get him where he needs to be. Also, we don't know what's in the game yet. Maybe there's a moment coming, or what's going to be in the game this month. Maybe there's a moment coming for him. Maybe there's gear. Maybe there's a particular plate that works super well on him. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But yeah, if this was 6x3, it would really change his entire outlook. I'm just showing you regular first, and then I'll show you with the buff afterwards. So regular, now we're up to 40 million. Still not where we need to be, though. I do prefer this to the other moveset, though. 55. Getting there, but again, that would be only when they're focused, so not ideal, and still not where we need to be. So let's try some plates. All right, and I'll run the previous build with plates too. Don't worry, because I think those are the ones likely to be used. So Queen's Tiara adds 50% multiply gem damage. We'll just toss that on, see what we hit for. 50% probably isn't going to add a lot, although it is multiplies, so fear not. And we'll do it with the, oops, I had switched to this set. We'll do it with this set, and then we'll go back and do it with the other one. So I'm going to do it without the focused here first. And see what we hit. I know a lot of people are looking forward to King Kong Bundy. I've had a bunch of people message me. So that was 47 reduced to 43. It's a really quick 47 though. And I know some people are going to wonder if the Piper Plate will work. Combo moves are kind of hit or miss. They work weird. I don't think the Piper Plate is going to work. You just saw us hit for, what was it, like 47? I will toss the Piper Plate on just to show you guys. I'm pretty sure it's not going to work. To be honest, if it does, we will hit definitely harder than 47. We'll probably hit below 50, mid 50s probably. And then once we see, then I'll do the focused one. Although those do go out on the first half, so it may work. Nope, does not work. Didn't think so. So Piper Plate, no worky. Because I know someone would have asked in the comments, which is a great question, by the way. Because it's really hit or... combo moves have really worked weird. But it doesn't work on Ilya, so I wouldn't think it would... Actually, wrong, bad example. Because Ilya isn't on the same one, and it does work on Ilya, so ignore me. And so we'll just take this off. I'll show you once against the focused, and then we'll put the new plate on. I didn't get the new plate. I don't think a lot of people got the new plate, but I will show you because, yeah, I know people did. I'll also run it with easier trainers with just the tiara first. Because I do know a lot of people are going to get the A, and a lot of people that get it are not going to have Leo and LA, so... Fear not, I got you. So that's 59. Still not quite where we need to be. And I think if you're playing hardcore, you need to hit harder with your hardcore people, like Alexa Bliss, right? When you're banking on hardcore. So I feel like he just doesn't hit as hard as he should, probably. So I think more stuff is coming. I've sort of come to realize that typically when I think somebody's a little bit not as good as I would like, they end up adding more stuff. So hopefully that's the case for him. Because the damage is just slightly, I think, too low. So more free-to-play friendly stuff with the tiara. You could if you've been playing a while, you likely have all of this stuff free, actually. I'm sure Bizzo has everything to run this build. What's up, Bizzo? Shout out. He's been playing a long time. Very, very good player. I don't know if he's ever really spent much of anything. I'm sure he's maybe spent like a few bucks here and there, but hardly anything. And he's definitely free to play these days, as far as I know, for a while. And he does really well. So 33 million with the tiara. So you're looking at like two cycle wins. And then I'll hit it with the focused one. Again, for each of these, like, this might be a little too much for some people, and if you wonder why my videos are long sometimes, it's because I'm trying to... There's so many players with so many different things on their roster. I want you to get a good idea of how this character will play on your roster, and honestly, in like just showing one moveset with one set of trainers, I'm gonna miss a huge portion of the player base. Like, way more people have this setup than have Leo, right? So, it's important to show both, I think. And if that's not your style, maybe I'm not the creator for you. And that's fair. So that was 50 million with the focused. Again, I just feel like it's not quite there. So that's why I think more stuff's coming. Okay, but what about when we add everything? And this one, I'm not going to keep the free-to-play trainers on, because I think if you got the big ultimate plate that adds 100%, you probably have exceptional stuff. Like I said, I didn't get it on my main account. I was short. I would have to spend a lot to get there. And I spent 100 and didn't get there for the what's his face that I can't think of right now. Where is this new plate? It looks funky. I haven't even used it yet. There it is. When you make 6 or more multiply gems, increase all of your gem damage 100% one turn. Kind of got a feeling this is where it gets more interesting, but let's see. I forgot to change trainers, so this is actually this one. So I lied. You do get to see it free to play. And then we'll go back to the blue set for people that want to see. Yeah, 100% got it up to 40. It's gonna feel a lot better with the bigger the multiplies though, so. Goodness. I wish I wouldn't have messed that up. Alright, now let's do this. Because that was something that probably didn't need to be shown. There's maybe one person out there that can run that combo and can't run Leo or LA. Maybe there's more than one, but you know. Alright, here we go. Also, you can substitute for this one. If you don't have Leo LA, you can substitute Sherry 17K Santa. It won't hit quite as hard, but it will hit close. By the way, anytime you see a dual MP in Leo, it gives you one more multiply than Sherry and 17K Santa. Actually, you can't. He's 7 MP. I lied. You can't do that in this case. So never mind, unless you have a middle lane. That's why I'm like, usually I show Sherry. I wonder why I didn't. Oh, yeah, that's right. He's 7 MP. Okay. Big dumb. All right. So if you have all this stuff, it's 55 against a non-focused, which isn't enough to use this plate, to be honest. So real quick, we'll go back to this build right here and run it with all this stuff. And then I'll strip it down with just the Pyro Princess as well. But really, we just want to see at this point if he's usable with all of the stuff with either of the builds without needing to hit a hardcore move. That's because that's, again, like, Bliss is usable without the hardcore. There we go. And it's sometimes hard to know how they're going to play, because you don't know what they're going to add, right? Like, and if they don't add anything, then he's just kind of If they do add stuff, he could be amazing. So yeah, sometimes it's hard to tell. I wish we knew that stuff. Right now, I'm not super impressed, right? I'm not super impressed. I didn't put the finisher in. Gosh, freaking dang it, Will. Ugh. That's super frustrating. I'm sorry, guys. Somebody was yelling at the screen there, bro, you didn't put the finisher in. And I feel like this is way too long, but like, I feel like it's also important because a lot of people have messaged me about Bundy, and I feel like I need to do my due diligence for you guys so you can see how he plays. You're welcome to fast forward through any of the sections, but all right. Does this hit hard enough without using hardcore? Oh my freaking gosh, I did it again. I put the wrong blue move in. I would edit that out, but then you guys would miss seeing how stupid I am. Boy, we've seen that moveset a lot, huh, guys? It actually works okay, though, because you do get some blue gems on it. So that plate does do something. Here we go. All right. I promise I've done this before. Messed up, by the way. Mm. All right. Dear goodness, Mherex. Okay. It's not his primary color, so I don't see how it's going to be any better. Yeah, 46. So there you go. Like, I don't feel like stripping it down, to be honest, because it's just not that great. It's going to add a little bit with 50%, but so he's kind of tough to rate, right? For me, sort of. Not really. I'll rate him with what's in the game now because I always do. I feel like his potential to hit hard is there because he's got multiplies, but I feel like it's just not there. So with what's in the game now, so like you want to compare him to other recent A's. He's not Judgment Day Dom. He's not Boss Man. He's not Alexa. He's not JD McDonough. He's nowhere in their league with what's in the game now. Alexa on her showcase, she had all kinds of stuff available. She was doing her hardcore move, which only needed to be against technicians. I could get like 150 million. I could get 70 million with what was in the game on non. Yes, it was whaley stuff, but it was her top end. Boss Man, I mean, so Boss Man doesn't necessarily hit harder, really. But he's got like a stun lock, he's got botches, he's got stuff he can do, drain them and that sort of thing. I do think, interestingly enough, this moveset wins. This moveset wins and wins a lot. Honestly, I think it's his best moveset right now. Like, I think if you get Bundy, this moveset makes him a little bit harder, or I feel like puts him in a maybe better. So I'm thinking about this like from like my free to play perspective account. Like you won't have Woods, but Woods is not adding that much. He's adding like, I don't know. You're still gonna do over like 65 mil. It's I don't and you slow them down with the sub. So I feel like my free to play would love this moveset for him, and it would be very useful. So I'm trying to keep that in mind too. But I just don't think like Boss Man could stun lock. He had the other stuff going on with his hardcore. So Dom is definitely better. Like Dom's incredible A tier striker, I think though. So I don't know that that's necessarily fair. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't think he's quite there. He's missing something. If that gets added, then obviously this is not going to age well. But right now, I think he's just kind of meh. To be fair, if somebody's doing multiplies, they gotta at least get. I mean, with whaley stuff, 50 million isn't it? You know what I mean? And he can't even get to like 60 using his hardcore stuff really. Like, he's not going to put anyone down. Although a focus trickster I suppose he would put down with 8 times bigger. But again, you're not going to load all the whaley stuff up to play him to only be able to beat a focus trickster. So I feel like the multiplies, if they were 3x6, this is a way different conversation and story. Or if they add a moment that adds 4 multiplies, right? Or something like that, it's probably a different story too. That might not be enough, but a moment and with 4 multiplies and then like gem damage on top of it. Or they add some kind of plate that he can really take advantage of. Yeah. So I guess that's my review on Bundy. He's just kind of there. And he's not somebody I think will ever get used. Also, his trainer, I think this month is the worst of the trainers too, because it's a niche one. So I feel like I'm being really hard on him, but I think it's fair. I think he's a disappointing A tier right now. I think the trainer's disappointing because it's niche. I think he's disappointing with how he plays, and yeah, because of that, I think he's probably going to be the worst card this month, unless they add a lot of love for him. So let me know what you think in the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed this showcase. Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? I know a lot of people are looking forward to him. Yeah, I just not feeling it. Maybe I'm wrong. So let me know what you think in the comments, and remember to like, subscribe, and share, because that really helps me out. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching and good luck out there. He's not bad. He's just not good at all. That's funny. He's not bad. He's just not good. Yeah, that's kind of bad.